You can come down and share the homily with me.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not going to sit down now, you know. He thinks he's going to sit down. So now we'll have a little shared homily this evening for a change. And before Jay came out, before we came out to celebrate Mass, people were admiring the lovely story he has, and it's rose-coloured. But we poor priests don't have anything so fancy as that. And he's wearing a rose-coloured stole today because today is Laetare Sunday. And also, people were surprised this morning when I told them that it's also Mothering Sunday, Mother's Day. And you're looking at me now, I know, and you're surprised. But in Europe and many parts of it, it's Mothering Sunday. The reason being that it is mid-Lent Sunday, and going back in times when a lot of families had domestic help and would have a girl working for them doing the cooking and cleaning and so on. On the fourth Sunday of Lent, mid-Sunday Lent, she was given that weekend off so she could go home and visit her mother, because she would be busy at Easter cooking for the family. And so in most parts of the world, I don't know, this is a strange country here, you celebrate it in May, probably due to commercial reasons. Now, you can join with me in, there's a big question in the Gospel this evening. They look at that man who was born blind, and the Pharisees and the priests and so on, and some of the other people around there. The big question for them is, who sinned, he or his parents? So they saw his blindness as a punishment from God. And you must have been asked, because I've been asked hundreds of times, why does God allow bad things to happen to good people?
Sometimes God allows bad things to happen to good people, so God can show his reign to others. And that's what happened in this case. The man was born blind, and through his blindness, Jesus not only helped him to see, but others in the community.
Mm-hmm. Right. So you say God uses people, then uses some people for his plans. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and then how do you solve the question with somebody who their sickness or what is bad has happened to them through their own fault? For example, by the way they live, the way they neglect their health, maybe because of addiction to alcohol or something else. How do you explain that then with God?
You give me the easy questions.
I know, yeah, I know, but that's the whole idea in bringing you down here.
So,
put him on the spot. I know, but this is good. It's
so
nice.
what I think happens in that case, it's maybe not that they would be healed, but through the failings possibly in their life, others could see that and go, maybe that's not the path I should go down. So their life still brings good, even though they themselves may not be healed through it.
Yeah, and I think that's a pretty good point. But there's another aspect to it too. There's a little story actually. A man converted to Christianity, and a short time after he converted, he met a friend of his. And so the friend, in a kind of a cynical way, said to him, "Oh, so now you have converted, you have become a Christian?" And the man said, "Yes, I have." So he's tell me, he says, "Tell me something about this Christ. Where was he born?" And the man said, "I don't know." And he said, "Well, how old was he when he died?" And again the new convert said, "I don't know, I'm not sure." And his friend then said to him, "Well, for somebody who was just converted to Christianity, you don't know a lot about it." To which the man replied, all I know is that I used to be a drunkard and a gambler. I mistreated my wife and my family. I had a broken home. But since I took Christ into my life, I'm no longer doing all those things. I'm back with my family, and my wife and family, and we're all very happy. That's all I know about Christ. So, in other words, he had opened his eyes,
Yes.
and he saw the light. Now, to go back now, there's another little point there too. Have you ever said, this is an unfair question, but I'm sure some people
can
have
ask it
said,
anyway.
yeah, why has God allowed this to happen to me? You know, why is God punishing me? Have any of you ever felt like that? You know, something goes wrong in your life, and why is God punishing me? And there's another interesting point there. Now, look at the man who was an alcoholic, a drunkard, a gambler, and so on, and now he's enjoying a new life. But don't you think he has an appreciation for life that people who never had that problem don't have? You know, you meet a recovering addict or recovering alcoholic, and boy, does he appreciate life.
Because he's seen the other side where he didn't
Yes.
have much.
Yeah, but the benefits. So he's almost at the point now where he's thanking God for what has happened to him, for that experience. And I'm sure some of you here can identify with that. When you go through a situation like that and you come out the other side, you're so grateful and you're so thankful. So you've got a new set of
eyes.
Yeah, you know, you see things in a totally different way. Now, when you how do you cope with suffering or pain or difficulty in your life?
Believe?
Pardon? Believe. Oh, gee, here we go. Why is that good?
It can be.
Yeah.
Only in moderation.
Well, as the advert said, I used to take Tylenol or something,
right,
and I'd have to take them every few hours. The man is building a new shed for his family. Now I take a leave and I can work all day long. So there you go.
There you go.
But looking at it more seriously, how do you see it? And then I'll tell you how I see it.
Okay.
But this is important, and this is now where what we call wisdom and insight. But that's what the gospel is about too today.
So when things aren't going the way I'd like them to go, which can happen quite frequently.
Yeah. You mean Candy gives you a lot of trouble?
Or I get in trouble because I don't do what Candy asked me to do.
All right.
So what happens though is one of the things that Candy and I have both done is we've gone through the book Living Your Strengths. And one of the things that are part of that is, I forgot where, help me out, Candy. Connectedness, thank you. And so what I've seen is I've seen the things in my life that I wouldn't be here today if certain things wouldn't have happened, either good or bad.
Yep.
And so because of that, when something's not going exactly right, I go, I don't know why. I'm not really sure, but I know beyond this is going to be the good that God wants me to see. So because of that, I work my way through it. And I've had the past experiences when things haven't been a little right. I said, well, this wasn't a good point in my life, but this was a great point in my life, and I couldn't have been to this point without this point here.
Well, you're given a wonderful answer. And still they gazed, and still they grew, how one small head could carry all it knew. You gave a wonderful answer there. That's you're on the ball there, because God never lets anything go to waste. Believe me. And whatever you go through in life, it's all, when you see it, and this is the insight, the understanding, the new way of seeing things truthfully. When you go through a difficult time in your life, God always has something in it for you. Have you found that?
Always.
Always. So that's a great, great way. What seems here and now at this moment, you're in a situation and you don't know why this has happened, as you've just said, Jay. And then 6 months later down the line, a year later down the line, there's an moment.
Very much.
Yeah, very, very much. And then you begin, thank you, God. Why didn't I see that in the beginning? And now I see. And now I see. I think you did great.
I think you did pretty good too.
Yeah, well, the two of us, we make a good team.
I was going to say like Laurel and Hardy, but I decided not to.
Right. Well, which is the Laurel and which is the Hardy?
I think I'm more of the Hardy side.
Okay, so if we stand, we'll continue Mass.